Imagine being the king of the skies, ruling over 20% of India's aviation market, only to vanish almost overnight. That's exactly what happened to Jet Airways, once India's most trusted premium airline. How did a company loved by business travelers and celebrities collapse so dramatically? Today, we'll dive deep into the rise and fall of Jet Airways and uncover the key lessons every business can learn. Jet Airways was founded in 1993 by Naresh Goyal as a full-service carrier with one simple goal: to provide premium, world-class air travel for Indian passengers. And for nearly 2 decades, it delivered on that promise. By the early 2000s, Jet Airways had become India's largest private airline, operating over 400 daily flights to more than 70 destinations across the world. The brand stood for comfort, reliability, and quality service. Passengers could enjoy gourmet meals, in-flight entertainment, and luxurious business-class cabins that set new benchmarks for Indian aviation. By 2007, Jet Airways held around 22% of the domestic market share and employed over 22,000 people. It wasn't just an airline, it was a symbol of India's growing global ambitions. So what went wrong? Why did a market leader with such a strong reputation collapse? The downfall of Jet Airways was not caused by one single factor, but by a series of challenges that created the perfect storm. First, let's talk about operating costs. Jet Airways followed a full-service model: free meals, airport lounges, and extra staff. But during the mid-2000s, low-cost carriers like Indigo and SpiceJet entered the Indian market. They slashed fares, stripped down services, and focused on efficiency. Suddenly, Jet Airways looked expensive and outdated. The airline couldn't match the cost advantage of its competitors. Second, overexpansion and debt. In 2007, Jet Airways made a bold move. It acquired Air Sahara for $500 million. The idea was to rebrand it as Jet Light and compete with low-cost carriers. But instead of strengthening Jet, the move backfired. The acquisition created confusion in brand positioning and significantly increased debt. By 2014, Jet Airways was drowning in over 8,000 crore rupees of debt, which is roughly $1.2 billion. Third, rising fuel prices and currency challenges. Aviation turbine fuel in India is among the costliest in the world. When global oil prices went up and the Indian rupee weakened, Jet's margins shrank dramatically. Fuel became one of the biggest burdens on its balance sheet. And finally, management missteps. Jet often tried to copy low-cost carriers by cutting fares, while still maintaining the expensive structure of a premium airline. This created an identity crisis. Business travelers began shifting to foreign carriers for long-haul comfort, while budget-conscious passengers went to low-cost rivals. On top of this, Naresh Goyal's management style was criticized as overly controlling and resistant to change. These decisions slowed down Jet's ability to adapt in a fast-changing industry. But Jet Airways didn't give up easily. The company tried multiple strategies to save itself. In 2013, Jet sold a 24% stake to Etihad Airways for $379 million. The goal was to bring in fresh capital and strategic expertise. The airline also tried to cut costs. It grounded older planes, reduced international routes, and even delayed salaries. But these measures weren't enough. As financial stress deepened, staff morale collapsed. Pilots, engineers, and crews started leaving. Investors lost confidence, and passengers began booking flights with more reliable airlines. It was a downward spiral. By April 2019, Jet Airways defaulted on loan repayments. Banks refused to lend any further money, and the airline was forced to suspend all operations on April 17, 2019. Its entire fleet of 120 aircraft was grounded. The scale of the collapse was massive. Over 22,000 employees were suddenly jobless. The company had accumulated losses of over 13,000 crore rupees. That's nearly $1.8 billion. Market share, which was once over 20%, dropped to zero overnight. Jet Airways, once a symbol of Indian aviation excellence, became a cautionary tale of how quickly success can vanish. So what can we learn from the rise and fall of Jet Airways? Lesson 1. Adapt to market changes. The airline stuck to its premium model even when low-cost carriers completely reshaped the market. Lesson 2. Avoid overexpansion. The Air Sahara acquisition added debt but brought little real value. Lesson 3. Maintain financial discipline. Rising debt without sustainable revenue streams is a recipe for disaster. Lesson 4. Have clear brand positioning. Jet failed to decide whether it was a premium carrier or a budget airline, and lost both audiences in the process. And Lesson 5. Leadership agility matters. In a fast-moving industry like aviation, slow and centralized decision-making can be fatal. The story of Jet Airways shows us that even the biggest brands can fall if they fail to adapt, manage debt, and stay aligned with market realities. What do you think? Could Jet Airways have survived if it had changed strategy earlier? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this case study insightful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into business success and failure stories.